What's going on, guys? Barry here, back with Free Code Camp, and today we're going to be working on the Learn Accessibility by building a quiz project. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a preview of what we're going to be building here. Pretty cool. Alright, so welcome to the first part of the accessibility quiz. As you are becoming a seasoned HTML and CSS developer, we have started you off with the basic boilerplate. Start this accessibility journey by providing a lang attribute to your HTML element. HTML lang. This will assist screen readers in identifying the language of the page. Alright, you may be familiar with the meta element already. It is used to specify information about the page, such as the title, description, keywords, and author. Give your meta element an appropriate char set value. So meta char set equals UTF 8. The char set attribute specifies the character encoding of the page, and nowadays UTF-8 is the only encoding supported by most browsers. Continuing with the meta elements, a viewport definition tells the browser how to render the page, including one better's visual accessibility on mobile and improves SEO, search engine optimization. Add a viewport definition. Viewport definition with a content attribute detailing the width and initial scale of the page. Width. I don't know how to do that. You should create another meta element in the head. Oh, so this wasn't supposed to be there. So viewport content attribute width initial scale. It didn't tell me what to assign it to. Oh, it said create another meta element, so you should give the meta a name attribute, a viewport, meta name viewport. You should give the meta a content equals width equals device width initial scale equals 1. Is that right? No. The content attribute. Oh, okay. There we go. Another important meta element for accessibility and SEO is the description definition. The value of the content attribute is used by search engines to provide a description of your page. Add a meta element with the name attribute set to description. Meta name equals description, and give it a useful content attribute. I don't know what the content attribute should be. You should give the meta a content attribute. Of what? Oh, quiz. There we go. All right. Lastly, in the head and the title element. Lastly, in the head, the title element is useful for screen readers to understand the content of a page. Furthermore, it is an important part of SEO. Give your page a title that is descriptive and concise. So title, I'm just going to call it accessibility quiz, because I don't really know what the quiz is about. But that worked. Alright, navigation is a core part of accessibility, and screen readers rely on you to provide the structure of your page. This is accomplished with semantic HTML elements. Add a header and a main element to your page. Header / header main / main. The header element will be used to introduce the page as well as provide a navigation menu. The main element will contain the core content. Within the header, provide context about the page by nesting one image, H1, and nav element. The image should point to, so we're going to do image source and copy that, paste it, image source, and that has popped up. And have an ID, image source, ID equals to logo. The H1 element should contain the text HTML/CSS quiz. Okay. You should add a nav element to the header element. Hold on, within the header, oh, I forgot that. Within the header, provide context about the page by nesting one H1. Oh, does this have to be nav / nav? Or oh, well, why did it tell me to do that first? I guess it didn't. So this needs to go there. This needs to be deleted. Alright, image H1 nav. Okay. A useful property of an SVG scalable vector graphics is that it contains a path attribute which allows the image to be scaled without affecting the resolution of the resultant image. Currently, the image is assuming its default size, which is too large. CSS has a max function which returns the largest of a set of comma-separated values. In this example, image elements will have a minimum width of 250 pixels, and as the viewport grows, the image will grow accordingly to be 25% of the viewport width. Scale the image using its ID as a selector and setting the width to be the maximum of 100 pixels or 18. So we're going to do image, I have caps on, width max 100 pixels, 18 view width. Okay, does not pass. What do we do wrong here? What is our image? Logo. So get rid of that. We're gonna do logo. What does this need to do? Okay. As described in the Free Code Camp Style Guide, the logo should retain an aspect ratio of 35/4 and have padding around the text. First, change the background color to 0A0A23. So you can see the logo. And what did I do wrong? Because I cannot see the logo. Background color. Yeah, I don't see it. And then use aspect ratio and set it to 35/4. I'm still not seeing anything. see if this is number, logo, a background color 0A0A23. That's what I did. 0A0A23. Am I doing something wrong here? I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Let me copy this. Paste that in. Background color. Why is that A there? That's what it was. Okay, now we see it up top. One random letter in the wrong spot will mess you all up. Alright, and now we need to do the padding 0.4 rem. Okay. Make the header take up the full width of its parent container. Set its height. Header height to 50 pixels. Background color to number 1, B1B, 32. Alright. Display. Then set the display flex box. That's not right. Display flex. You should give the header a width of 100%. It said set its height to 50 pixels. Oh, a width. Got it. Width 100%. Okay. There we go. Ask me later. Change the H1 font color. H1 font color to F1BE 32. That's not the right. That is not the correct. I think we just do color. There we go. All right. And set the font size to min 5VW, comma 1.2 EM. Okay, that's looking nicer. To enable navigation on the page, add an unordered list with the following 3 items. So we got nav. The list items text should be wrapped in anchor tags. So A info. I don't think that's right because I don't know what we gotta link it to though. HTML. This should be all caps. Check. You should nest one UL. Oh. Oh. Okay, so UL unordered list / UL, and then these need to be LI. It confused me by doing the anchor tags. LI. Check. Still doesn't pass. You should nest one A element inside each. Okay, so A. Also, didn't do this right. Inside the UL. So we have the 3 LIs. And then you should nest one A element inside each Li element. So I don't think we have to close those. Or does it need to be A? Let's see if I can't Google that. Okay, so it should be A. I think that's what it should be. So we need to get rid of this and get rid of that and get rid of that A. And I think we need to do that on all of them. Copy this. You should nest 3 Li elements. That's what I did. Oh, dummy. I didn't close it. Come on. Still doesn't pass, huh? Maybe I don't need this, but they still need to be closed. The list items should be wrapped in anchor tags. I got the Li, I got the UL. I don't understand. Now what I think it should be, it seems to not be. Alright, let's get rid of all this. Let's do it over again. Alright, so Li, and then do A/A, info/Li. Let's copy this. Paste, and change this to HTML and then CSS. Okay. Finally. That's the way I thought it was at first. I don't think I closed it is the problem. Alright. Use the greater than selector to target the unordered list elements within the nav elements. And use flexbox to evenly space the children. Alright, so use the selector. I don't know how to use that selector properly, so that's not right, but that's what it has to be. Nav greater than, and then UL. Alright, and then we already set it. I don't think we need that there, but let's just try to do what they said. Justify content space evenly. And they're not all on there, so okay, we did need that. So display flex And there we go. Oh, they are there. We just can't see them. Okay. As this is a quiz, you will need a form for users to submit answers. You can semantically separate the content within the form using section elements. Within the main element, create a form with 3 nested section elements. Form action equals, I gotta post this in there. You should give the form element a method attribute with a value of post. Method post. There we go. To increase the page accessibility, the role attribute can be used to indicate the purpose behind an element on the page to assistive technologies. The role attribute is a part of the Web Accessibility Initiative and accepts preset values. Give each of the section elements the region role. So we're going to do role equals region. Let me just copy that and paste. Alright. Every region role requires a label, which helps screen reader users understand the purpose of the region. One method for adding a label is to add a heading element inside the region and then reference it with the ARIA labeled B attribute. Add the following attributes to the section elements. So, this is the first time I'm hearing of whatever this is here, so let's just copy this and paste that in and change this part. CSS questions, and this one should be HTML questions. You should nest one H2 element within the first section element. Oh, I think I get it. I think that's supposed to go to the H2, not to the section. So no, it says add that to the section element. So then we have to do this ID equals student info. ID equals HTML questions. And then ID equals CSS questions. Is that it? You should give the first H2 element a suitable text content. Hint, I would have chosen student info. Okay, so they want us to add here, so student info. I feel like it didn't tell us to do that. HTML questions. I don't think we need that dash. And then here we need CSS questions. Alright, there we go. Typeface plays an important role in the accessibility of a page. Some fonts are easier to read than others, and this is especially true on low-resolution screens. Change the font for both the H1 and H2 elements to Verdana, and use another web-safe font and the sans serif family as a fallback. So we're going to do H1, H2, and font family, Verdana, and then do and serif, and then we're going to do border, bottom, 4 pix, solid, D, F, D, F, E, 2. Oh, I think that's only to the H2 elements, so this needs to be cut out, and then do H2. Does this have to have a capital? There we go. To be able to navigate within the page, give each anchor element a href corresponding to the ID of the H2 elements. Do what? Oh, so student info. I don't know how to do that though. So we put a number sign, student info. So then that should be number sign, HTML questions, and this one should be CSS. Oh, whoops. CSS questions. There we go. Filling out the content of the quiz below, student info, add 3 div elements with a class of info. So div / div class info. All right. Copy, paste, 3. Then within each div, nest 1 label element and 1 input element. So label input. I don't know if the input needs to be okay. Let's just copy label. Copy that over, paste, and paste. You should nest 1 input element within the first div after the label. That's what I did. Div, label, input. Alright, let's get rid of let's do this. Div class info. Label input. Label. I think that might be what it needed to be. Yeah. So let's just do this. Let's get rid of the insides here. I need to get rid of that label too. Get rid of this. Copy this. There we go. All right. It is important to link each input to the corresponding label element. This provides assistive technology users with a visual reference to the input. This is done by giving the label a for attribute, which contains the ID of the input. This section will take a student's name, email address, and date of birth. Give the label elements appropriate for attributes as well as text content. Then link the input elements to the corresponding label elements. Let's see how we're looking here. Yeah, alright guys, we're going to go ahead and end here on step 20. So we've completed 1 through 19, and we're going to continue this on the next episode. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye!